In this video, I'm going to show you the best bass Bluetooth speakers you can get at every price range. No matter your budget, I will help you find the best pick for your needs. Let's go. First, we are going to take a look at the best options in the under $50 range. First, we have the Anker Soundcore 3. This one uses Anker's bass up technology with dual passive radiators, and you can really feel a noticeable thump in the low end that sounds very punchy for its size. The 24-hour battery life is a massive advantage over the others, but I found that you really need to increase the volume to make that bass come alive and feel powerful. While the bass is certainly present in full, it doesn't quite reach those super low sub-bass frequencies, feeling a bit less deep compared to the warmth you get from the UNT-Z. Next, we have the UNT-Z Angle 3 Ultra. With a peak power of 14 watts, this speaker gets surprisingly loud and delivers a room-filling bass that feels deeper and warmer than the Anker, which is great for hip-hop and electronic music. Its unique triangular shape and downward-facing bass radiator are specifically designed to push out that low end, and you can even pair two of them together for a proper stereo sound experience. However, that strong focus on the bass sometimes makes the vocals and higher frequencies sound a little less clear, and its bulkier shape is not as easy to carry around as the JBL. Finally, we have the JBL GO 4. For a speaker that is so small you can easily slip it into your pocket, the amount of bass it produces with what JBL calls its pro sound is honestly quite impressive and punchy. It's clearly the most portable and durable of the three with its IP67 dust and waterproof rating, but its tiny size is also its biggest weakness, as it physically cannot produce the deep rumbling bass of the larger Anker and UNT-Z. The biggest trade-off here is the battery life, which at only around 7 hours means you will be reaching for the charger far more often than with the other two speakers on this list. Next, we're going to take a look at the best options in the $50 to $100 range. First, we have the JBL Flip 6. Yet this speaker delivers a surprisingly punchy and well-defined bass for its super portable cylindrical size, which I found is largely thanks to its dedicated woofer and dual passive radiators. While it is not going to shake the walls like the larger Motion Boom, its bass feels tight and clean without getting muddy, providing a really solid foundation to a very balanced sound profile across all frequencies. I found it is the perfect speaker if you need great clear sound on the go, but if your number one priority is the absolute deepest low-end rumble, you might find yourself wanting a little more power. Next, we have the Anker Soundcore Motion Boom. If raw, unapologetic bass power is what you are chasing in this price range, this speaker is a beast that is hard to ignore. Its 100% titanium drivers combined with Anker's bass up technology produce a deep resonant bass that you can actually feel, easily outperforming the JBL and Sony in sheer low frequency volume. The trade-off is its much larger boombox style design with a handle, making it less portable than the others, but the incredible 24-hour battery life and powerful sound make it a monster for outdoor gatherings where bass is key. Finally, we have the Sony SRS-XB23. This speaker puts its intentions right there in the name with the extra bass sound mode, and it really leans into that promise. With its unique X-balance drivers and dual side-firing passive radiators, engaging that bass mode gives you a very noticeable boost to the low end. That is a lot of fun for bass-heavy genres, like electronic music or hip-hop. However, I noticed its bass can feel a bit less controlled and boomy compared to the tightness of the JBL, and it does not have the sheer depth of the bigger Anker, placing it in a fun but slightly less refined middle ground between portability and power. Next, we're going to take a look at the best options in the $100 to $200 range. First, we have the JBL Charge 5. This thing really brings the thump with its dedicated racetrack driver and dual pumping bass radiators, giving you a powerful low end that you can actually feel. I found its bass is more aggressive and punchy than the Bose, but it can sometimes sound a little less refined on more complex tracks. The built-in power bank is a fantastic bonus, letting you keep the party and the bass going all night without worrying about your phone dying. Next, we have the Bose SoundLink Flex. For its smaller size, I was surprised by the deep and rich bass it produces, offering a more musical and well-rounded low end than the raw power of the JBL. It has this unique position IQ technology that automatically adjusts the sound and bass response depending on if it is standing up, lying down, or hanging, which the other two speakers do not have. While I love the audio quality, you do sacrifice the power bank feature and get slightly less playback time compared to the Charge 5. Finally, we have the Ultimate Ears Mega Boom 4. The biggest deal here is the 360-degree sound, which spreads the bass evenly around a room for a more immersive experience rather than just firing it forward. I have to say the bass is not as punchy or deep right out of the box, when you compare it directly to either the JBL or the Bose. However, its fantastic app has a fully customizable equalizer to boost that low-end frequency to your liking, and it is the most rugged of the three, as it is designed to actually float in water. Next, we are going to take a look at the best options in the $200 to $400 range. First, we have the JBL Xtreme 4. This thing is an absolute bass cannon, with its dual woofers and a new AI sound boost feature that really pushes out deep, powerful low-end frequencies that you can feel. It is built like a tank with an IP67 rating and comes with a shoulder strap, which I found makes it much easier to carry around than the Sony, despite its hefty size. However, that classic JBL sound means the bass can sometimes overshadow the mids and highs, so if you're looking for perfectly balanced audio, this might be a little too aggressive for you. Next, we have the Sony SRS XG300. The big draw for bass lovers here is the Mega Bass button, which uses Sony's unique non-circular X-Balance drivers to produce a really satisfying deep rumble without much distortion. I really like the retractable handle, which makes it easy to grab and go, and the 25-hour battery life means it can easily keep up with the JBL for all-day parties. The catch is that you really need to have that Mega Bass feature turned on, because the standard sound profile is noticeably flatter and less exciting on the low end. Finally, we have the Marshall Emberton the 3. Now this one is much smaller, but for its size, the bass is surprisingly rich and punchy, delivering a much more balanced and clear sound profile than the other two. Its iconic guitar amp style is easily the best looking of the bunch, and it has over 30 hours of battery life, but it lacks any kind of equalizer to tweak the sound to your liking. Ultimately, while it sounds great, it just cannot physically move the same amount of air as the JBL or Sony, so if you are looking for wall-shaking sub-bass, this is not going to be your pick. Next, we're going to take a look at the best options in the $400 plus range. First, we have the JBL Boombox 3, and right away I can tell you its dedicated subwoofer and three-way speaker system deliver some of the deepest, most rumbling bass you can get from a portable speaker this size. Despite that power, it is surprisingly manageable to carry around using its sturdy handle, and with its full IP67 dust and waterproofing, you can take that heavy bass anywhere without worry. However, while the bass is incredibly strong, it doesn't quite have the room-shaking volume of its bigger brother, the Party Box, and can sometimes feel a little less controlled than the more precise bass from the Bose. Next, we have the JBL Party Box Stage 320, and this thing is an absolute monster designed for pure bass impact with its dual woofers that move a serious amount of air, easily overpowering the Boombox 3 in sheer loudness. It's more than just a speaker, with its dynamic light show, inputs for a microphone or guitar, and a swappable battery for non-stop playtime. It is a complete party in a box. The trade-off is portability, as even with a telescoping handle and wheels, it is a heavy beast to move around, and its sound is tuned for maximum party energy, not necessarily for subtle musical details. Finally, we have the Bose SoundLink Max, which surprised me by producing incredibly deep and punchy bass from a much more compact design, thanks to its signature dual passive radiator system. Unlike the aggressive rumble of the JBLs, the bass here feels tighter and more musical, blending perfectly with the mids and highs for a very rich, high-fidelity sound that is less about shaking the floor and more about feeling the music accurately. Its main drawback is that it just cannot reach the same eardrum-rattling volume levels as either JBL speaker, and you are paying a premium for that refined Bose sound signature instead of raw decibels. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you found this video to be helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future.